Hey guys, my name is Jatin and you're watching the JB Talk Show. First of all, in this episode, we are actually talking about the communication, which is a very important topic. In this episode, I cover three main aspects. First aspect, for my point of view, to cover that how we use our communication skills to elevate the things in our professional lives. Secondary thing I cover in this episode is how we have to talk the things in our family. Third thing is that if we have the trauma, if we have the problem with our minds, how we will fix it, and plus how we come out from it. So basically, three things from my point of view we covered, and fourth thing, which is very important to all of us, is that if we have a brother or sister which is a teenager and he is not comfortable to talk with like parents, so there is a biggest gap between them. So I want to cover that part also, that if you have a children which is on a teenage or a between a 10 to 50 years and he is not communicating with you, so how if parents will communicate with you with the children? So it's a very interesting topic, and one of the finest person is come in the show. Her name is Aishwarya. She is a founder of TalkTune, and all the things is go very well. And I want to say that if you are watching that episode till the end, it will be greatly help in your career and also in your personal life. So without any wasting time, I am starting the episode. Welcome back to the show. I have researched a lot about you, and in researching, I have a first question about yourself. That how the Aishwarya journey is begin as an communication coach. So, ma'am,
All right,
can you explain it?
sure. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Jatin, thank you first for reaching out to me on Instagram and giving this opportunity. So, my journey as communication coach was a combination of learning from personal life and professional life. A lot started in the year 2023,
Mm-hmm.
to be precise. So, there was a lot of things going on in my personal life and professionally also. I was working in sales.
Mm-hmm.
So, sales, it is a lot to do with human communication. You
Yeah.
work with people, you talk to people, and all that. And personally, also, I was seeing how much communication can change different things the way you talk.
Yeah.
Not about how to talk to you, it's
Mm-hmm.
more about how you talk. That
Mm-hmm.
was my biggest understanding in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And starting to use this and starting to practice this in both personal life and professional life, I
Mm-hmm.
started understanding how much is not being taught in our country.
Mm-hmm.
We talk a lot about child is talking, not talking, talking properly, talking this language, not talking the other language.
Mm-hmm.
All these things are discussed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But in our country, we never talk about how the person is talking.
Yeah.
You're talking loudly, you're talking low, you're talking fast, you're talking slow. It's only maybe commented or maybe given as a criticize,
Mm-hmm.
but people don't teach you how to actually rectify.
Yeah.
And that is where I saw how
Mm-hmm.
much it can impact. I'm also a single mom of 12-year-old. So
Mm-hmm.
he is my biggest example to try all samples of communication with him.
Mm-hmm.
Being a child, he's somebody who adapts faster.
Mm-hmm.
And that is one of the reasons that it is important to start this from the young age of children.
Okay.
Parents, as adults, have to change first
Mm-hmm.
before you expect the child to talk properly.
Okay, ma'am.
So that's where the whole concept of coaching started for me.
Yeah.
And then I took communication as my niche.
Okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, one of my thing when I'm researching about the yourself, you are talking in English, and right now English is become the biggest concern to in the industry, because if you are speaking the English, you people think that you are intelligent.
So you are saying that language is not the problem. So how you see
Correct.
that thing about
See,
the
there are two ways of looking at it.
mm-hmm,
So the problem is, it's not even a problem. The
mm-hmm,
way people look at other people in our country, very specifically,
mm-hmm,
English is the biggest problem. If
mm-hmm.
you know English, you are somebody great.
Yeah,
That they forget the background of the person
yeah,
if they speak English. That is
mm-hmm,
actually a mistake and a problem,
mm-hmm.
because just because of English, you can't blindly believe in somebody. That's something wrong. So you
Yeah,
need to understand English is important if you want to grow, if you want to survive in our country, if you need to get into bigger places. English is mandatory. Unfortunately, that's how we are. This is something which we cannot change right now. But it's good that we accept that fact and start learning English.
okay.
Second thing is, okay, now second problem is, a lot of us, of course, don't know English so much. Even
Yeah,
I was not knowing so much English. I did study English, English medium. I came from a city and all that,
yeah,
but the practice of English was not there for me.
yeah,
Now I consciously practice English, where every day I speak in English a lot more, and then I try to add new words as much as possible. Like you told me about Instagram videos. My
mm-hmm.
videos I keep English, but I also make sure I keep simple English so that
Yeah,
a lot of people understand.
yes, ma'am.
I also have a lot of writing in LinkedIn
Yeah,
where I keep a little bit more advanced English,
yeah,
so that that's a different audience.
yeah.
So you keep adding to audience. So what I tell people, even if you don't know English,
Mm-hmm.
first get confident in your own language.
Okay.
That itself is a bigger challenge.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sure you know, right?
Yeah, basic.
Exactly. They talk any language,
Yeah.
but you can see that they are not confident.
Yeah, I want to share my experience. I am coming from Punjab,
Yes, please.
a small town, Hoshiarpur, and the biggest problem right now I am facing, I have a problem in S word. Like we say sprinkler, and my company is saying that you have to be correct that word because it's not like that.
Exactly.
So I am facing that problem. So it's how we crack the words, ma'am. If we
Correct.
want to correct it in communication skill.
So there is something called as
Mhm.
pronunciation, where you have to practice.
Yeah,
And this is a conscious work on your mind.
yeah.
Every time you use that word, you have to consciously use it properly.
Okay, ma'am.
I know a lot of people are like, oh, I am brought up from this place, so I will talk like this. I am used to this. No, it cannot work that way.
Yeah,
Real world will not accept.
yeah.
You need to accept the fact that you need to change.
Okay.
If you want to grow, if you
Mm,
want to survive in this world, you want to make more money,
yeah,
and that all these are very important for all of us,
yeah,
then you
ma'am.
need to change.
Yeah, ma'am.
Change is
And
the only answer.
yeah, ma'am. And ma'am, one more thing, like if we thinking about the recent, like
Mhm.
a few my few
Accent.
friends are from Canada, and they have when they are communicating with people, they have Canadian accent. And if we talk
Correct.
about the South Indian people, they have a South Indian accent. So
Correct.
how we correct that part also in our communication.
See, one of the biggest thing I always tell for anything related to communication
Mm-hmm.
is practice. You want to get better at English, practice more. You want to change your pronunciation, practice more. You want to change your slang, accent, whatever you want, you need to practice more. And everything has to happen consciously, where you are talking in particular way for your own self, not that somebody is coming from Canada, so I need to talk in that accent. No, that's
Mm-hmm.
not how it works.
Mm-hmm.
You're working for yourself, not for other people.
Okay,
That
ma'am.
is something people need to understand in communication. You're not doing work for somebody else, you're working for yourself.
Yeah, ma'am. So, ma'am, right now you are working in that sector. So I want to know that what is the recent project or a recent client you are dealing? So what's the
Mhm.
experience about him or her? What the
Sure.
problem they are
Uh,
facing?
so, so here I am actually a certified life coach, and my niche is communication coaching.
Mm-hmm.
So overall, I have a life certification of life coaching. And in that, I focus on communication, but people do come with different challenges. As you know, communication and life go hand in hand.
Yeah.
And I personally, communication is like breathing.
Yeah.
It's like oxygen.
Yes.
You either communicate with somebody, or
Yes.
somebody else is communicating with you,
Yeah.
or you're communicating by yourself in your brain.
Yes, man. Right.
So communication happens all the time, like we are breathing,
Yeah, man.
right? So people come with different challenges, but then that connects to a lot of life challenges. One
Okay.
of the biggest challenge all of them face is confidence.
Okay.
That is the biggest challenge, right?
Yeah.
That has become something where a lot of jobs are getting rejected because of less confidence. People don't come and talk to you because you don't look confident. So people don't, feel like talking to you more. Somebody else gets the attention.
Yeah.
Or sometimes even business people, they're not confident about how they project themselves. Then they
Okay.
lose business,
Okay.
right? If you notice anybody, you are a podcaster, so if you analyze anybody, anyone
Yeah.
who's actually the main person who's doing the podcast, the
Yeah.
biggest the point there is confidence,
Yes, man.
right? At any age group. And confidence is not like people are born with it. You can work on it. Yes, there are people who are born with it, which is a very lucky thing.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very possible
Mm-hmm.
somebody can gain it. So some of the challenges of confidence I can mention where it is common with a lot of my clients is one, they would have had some childhood trauma. For example, when we are young, when we are growing up, a lot of bullying will happen
Okay.
in school, college, something. They will
Yeah.
bully you about maybe your looks, your hair, your dressing, your studies,
Mm-hmm.
anything that would have reduced your confidence
Okay.
unconsciously.
Okay.
Even unfortunately, the way parents talk to you.
Okay.
There are a lot of times parents unconsciously, they don't do it in, purposely, but that's
Mm-hmm.
how they talk. In India, we were doing hard parenting. Now it's become very soft parenting.
Mm-hmm.
Before we were doing hard parenting, if I'm not wrong, when you were small or when I was small,
Yeah.
it was hard parenting. Right? They
Yeah.
scold, they hate, they do everything. And we were okay with it. We'll just go ahead.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, some things have affected our mind, which we didn't know.
Okay.
So one of the biggest thing is, let's say, for example, the
Mm-hmm.
most common thing again in India is comparing you with your friend,
Mm-hmm.
comparing you with your sibling,
Mm-hmm.
comparing you with your neighbor's son,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I think there is a famous joke also in Bollywood movies, no? Sharma ji ki beta.
Yeah.
So,
I
so
actually faced that thing, but my parents like
exactly,
very sportive in my journey. So
ex-
it's like in a certain point they compare with anyone
exactly.
like yeah. One of my
So that
thing,
is a pressure for us. That becomes a pressure, right?
yeah,
Unconscious. And what in the opposite side, what happens is one, you can see that there is pressure from parents.
yeah,
Second, sometimes you feel less confident because, oh, my parents actually think he's greater than me. So
mm-hmm,
what am I then?
yeah,
So am I reduces your confidence subconsciously, unconsciously. That is the biggest challenge of confidence. Now that can be understood unless you start, rethinking your childhood,
mm-hmm,
where what happened. And also one more biggest question about confidence is there
mm-hmm,
is something called as situational confidence,
mm-hmm,
which means sometimes I'm super confident
mm-hmm,
and sometimes.
mm-hmm,
So why that happens is because I have heard again from my client, entrepreneurs, a lot of them I deal with. So they tell, ma'am, when I talk to my client, I'm very confident. I know the product, I know my services, so I'm very confident to talk.
mm-hmm,
But when I have to talk to a new person,
mm-hmm.
networking, that
Okay,
is my biggest challenge, ma'am. I don't know how to start a conversation.
okay,
A lot of people don't know how to start a conversation.
yeah, man, that's the biggest
Yeah.
problem.
I'll give
Like,
you an interesting story and analysis I did.
mm-hmm,
If So nowadays a lot of people exchange social media handles, no, Instagram or
yeah,
LinkedIn or some Facebook, whatever it is. I don't think we have TikTok now, but everything else.
mm,
So what happens is I have analyzed one thing. I don't share my social media profiles, personal profiles,
yeah,
because I'm little private about it and I give it after I know the person a little bit more.
yes, man,
But I'm comfortable to give my WhatsApp number.
mm-hmm,
So the analysis I have understood is
mm-hmm,
when you give somebody any social media,
yeah,
it's easy to start a conversation with a meme.
yeah,
Okay?
mm-hmm,
But conversation on WhatsApp is very difficult.
Oh man.
After saying hi, hello, how are you? What do you say?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I understand.
What do you continue with a new person?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
The social media makes it easy by giving you memes as
Yeah.
a conversation.
Yeah. I
So
think.
you either share some movie reel or you'll
Mhm,
share some food reel,
mhm,
some joke or something maybe you spoke about or common thing, right?
mhm.
And then, but WhatsApp, what am I supposed to talk?
Yes, ma'am. That's happening.
That's where the communication is going for us. Right now, it's becoming a problem with communication.
Yeah, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, that thing is actually happening to a lot of my friends. They are
Yes, yes,
sending the reels, but when we are communicating, they are not available to talk. So that's
correct,
the biggest
exactly.
problem we are facing as youngsters. Ma'am, I have one more question that which time or which age is right to start that course, like communication course, which are you offering to us?
So I start from teens, which is starting around 11, 12 years of kids,
Mm-hmm.
where doing a series of confidence communication workshops going on right now. It started
Mm-hmm.
in March with women. This
Mm-hmm.
month I have a master class coming for kids,
Mm-hmm.
and in May, because it's Mother's Day season, I have one for Mother's Day, and I
Mm-hmm.
also have an English course coming, which is Learn English, Get Confident.
Mm-hmm.
And in June, I'm keeping for freshers. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing a series of confidence workshop for different, clientels, like different kinds of audience, for
Mm-hmm.
mothers, for women, for freshers, for
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneurs, kinds of people. So in this, what happens is confidence in different areas of life can be improved. And obviously, anybody can join any of the workshops. If you want to join one, more than one also is perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
But it's targeted to specific kind of audience.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am,
I I hope I answered your question.
yeah. One more thing I want to know, ma'am. Which podcast and which book actually influenced you a lot about the in this sector?
I wouldn't say specifically one book. I take ideas from
Mhm.
different books. I get inspiration and motivation, and definitely a lot of learning from different books.
Mhm.
But my personal favorite, as a communication person,
Mhm.
anybody who wants to improve communication, there's a book called Talk Like TED.
Okay.
Talk Like TED, TED. If you
Mhm.
know about TED Talks,
Mhm.
have you heard about TED Talks?
Which one, ma'am? Sorry.
TED Talks, TED,
Okay. TED Talks.
TED, TED.
Okay, TED Talks.
Ah,
Yeah, I remember that.
international.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That
there is
was.
a book on that. Yes.
Mhm.
So the book is there on that. So this lady who's done the book is very beautifully written about the best shows on
Mhm.
how they use communication in a fantastic way. So to
Okay.
improvise your communication, public speaking,
Mhm.
how to talk personally, professionally, everything will be covered in that book if you start reading it. So that's
Okay.
my personal favorite.
Mhm.
Other than that, I also read something called as a Diary of a CEO,
Okay.
and I even tell sometimes people just read Bhagavad Gita properly.
Mhm.
If you understand the basic roots of our own, things itself is a lot of learning.
Mhm.
There's I so to improvise communication,
Mhm.
reading anything every day. It's not necessary you have to read any fancy books. You can read anything, even read a newspaper is fine.
Okay.
You can read newspaper, but read every day.
Okay.
Even
Uh,
if you want to read the same thing again, it's okay.
okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, it's like very finely you explain all the stuff, but as a person, how you build a trust between your client, because the main thing is the trust, because this sector is not like that boomed and people didn't aware about it. So, how you build the trust and how you convince them about this thing?
Right. One thing for me, convincing comes a little easily since I told you I worked in sales.
Mm-hmm.
That helps me as an entrepreneur. But
Mm-hmm.
also, the trust factor is something where you have to be transparent with your client. So now, being a certified life coach, there
Mm-hmm.
are some things where, as a coach, we are supposed to do, and as a coach, we are not supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I keep it very transparent with my client, telling
Mm-hmm.
there is certain things which I'm going to tell you, and
Mm-hmm.
there are times since coaching is a little bit psychological and personal journey.
Mm-hmm.
So I will be asking you a little bit
Mm-hmm.
personal, deep, tricky questions.
Mm-hmm.
Are you okay? I set the tone in the starting itself. I
Mm-hmm.
keep the price very transparent.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have an agreement, which is,
Mm-hmm.
by both of us before we start the sessions, so that
Okay.
all of us are clear what we are getting. So my process starts like as soon as the people, anybody inquires with me,
Mm-hmm.
once they do for a coaching session, I do a chemistry session, which is free of cost. So
Mm-hmm.
the first session is called chemistry session. The
Mm-hmm.
word itself says that I need to understand you, you need to understand me.
Okay.
And I also tell them very clearly, it's okay if you don't want to continue. I'm still happy to give you that free session. At least
Okay.
understand what you're getting into, and
Okay.
then we can go forward. And I also tell that, let's say after a few sessions, if you're seeing that you're not seeing much of differences and all those things, even I will notice it. In fact, it happened with one of my clients last month. So
Mm-hmm.
we were doing sessions 3 months, but
Mm-hmm.
there was not much of movement happening from the client.
Mm-hmm.
She had some reason or something telling that I'm not able to do this because of this. Reasons is not something which is accepted when you want to grow. So I told the client, I'm like, see, right now I don't see much of changes, and I really don't want you to waste your time or money on me. Let's
Mm-hmm.
take a break,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm here anytime you want. So
Mm-hmm.
whenever you're ready to change,
Mm-hmm.
then you come. So they get very happy that I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing it to help and guide people
Mm-hmm.
rather than just about the money. I can do whatever I want to do if I want to. I don't
Mm-hmm.
have to tell a client. I keep it
Okay.
transparent and making it clear with the client that, boss, your change is important for both of us
Okay.
more than just trying to do anything in my business.
Okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, we are talking about the trauma. So, how people are like traumatic persons right now dealing with that stuff? Like, what type of things they are facing? I want to know more about that thing. Mhm.
With my personal journey, I'll give you the story of this. When I was also having some personal challenges, as I mentioned,
Mhm.
the go-to thing everybody in the world right now is doing is watch Instagram reels,
Yeah.
right? Everybody is a Instagrammer, everybody is a social media influencer, everybody has knowledge and information. I wouldn't deny that, right? But the challenge when it comes to trauma is you need
Mhm.
to talk to a professional in how to work on your trauma, not just get knowledge. Now,
Mhm.
for example, I'll tell you when we same example I'll give you. Instagram, you see a lot of recipe videos,
Mhm.
right? Because you watch a recipe video doesn't mean that your food is already beautiful. It
Okay.
doesn't taste fantastic just because you saw the video. You have to cook it, you have to make it to try and see if it is good or bad. Am I good at cooking or not?
Mhm.
It's the same with mental health as well. Just because you're watching some videos, you're getting some understanding that, okay, if you do this, you should not think like this, think positive, all those things, you have to apply.
Okay.
Just by watching videos is not going to work. You actually have to apply those things in the first place. You can take the knowledge from anywhere. You can take from books, you can take from YouTube, you can take from Instagram. Everything is beautiful. But
Mhm.
are you applying the knowledge? That's the biggest question. Now, the biggest trauma, as we discussed before, is about getting addicted to social media,
Yeah.
right? So I tell people, everyone, please definitely have a screen time, whatever age group you are in, doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Have a screen time in your phone, which is easier to control, and switch off your phone maximum at some time in the night. And after half an hour, 45 minutes, go to sleep.
Okay.
Trust me, I've experienced this and it works fantastically. You sleep better.
Okay.
So, just before closing your eyes, don't close it with your phone or any screen. Leave your phone aside, do something else for half an hour, maybe read a book, write
Mhm.
something,
Mhm.
talk to your loved ones,
Mhm.
spend some time, have tea, water, whatever you want in the night, right? Leave the screen.
Mhm.
Trust me, the sleep pattern is very different. It'll not happen overnight.
Mhm.
It'll take some time for you. It is very, very difficult. It's a simple process but difficult process. And everything related to mental health is like that. The solutions are very simple,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
the the thing of doing it is difficult. So when if people want to work on your mental health, if you
Mm-hmm.
think it's really bad stage, please talk to a professional. You can talk to a therapist, you can talk to a psychologist,
Mm-hmm.
counselor, even a life. I'll also give a very simple example. What is the difference between a
Mm-hmm.
therapist, counselor, and a psychologist compared to
Mm-hmm.
a coach?
Mm-hmm.
Now, therapist, counselor, psychologist will talk about your past,
Yeah.
your depression, your trauma, your childhood challenges,
Mm-hmm.
maybe a death in the family, whatever it is you had.
Mm-hmm.
Now, coach, somebody who will talk about going into the future, who wants to see growth.
Yeah.
Now, I have gone through depression, I have gone through trauma, I have
Mm-hmm.
accepted it. Now I
Mm-hmm.
want to go forward. I don't know how.
Mm-hmm.
That is where the coach plays a big role.
Mm-hmm.
So I personally tell people, please don't worry what is that dunya kya sochenge, char log kya sochenge. Don't think all that. It is
Mm-hmm.
your health, it's your life.
Mm-hmm.
Please talk to a professional if needed.
Mm-hmm.
Talking to friend might work sometimes, but might not work sometimes. It is definitely
Okay.
helpful, but does I'll
Mm-hmm.
give you a very interesting question I asked in one of my workshops of a corporate where
Mm-hmm.
around 25, 30 people were there, around age group of 25 to. Okay. I asked a very curious question which came from myself.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys watch Instagram
Mm-hmm.
because you feel like a human is talking to you? What is your answer, Jatin?
Actually, I watched the Instagram to find people. My I'm
That is fine.
personally,
That is fine. That's your research. It's
yeah,
okay.
I use Instagram previously as an study the things like recent trends in agriculture. Then I shifted to this sector. Right now I'm finding the people from different. So I watch their story. In the
Research
end,
is perfectly fine.
yeah,
Research is fine. Research is fine. So
research.
something called the term which I heard called something called as ghost scrolling or something, right?
Yeah,
Where people just scroll without knowing why they scroll,
yeah.
right? So that is something where unfortunately most of the crowd is accepting the fact that they're watching because they feel like human is talking,
Oh.
like an interaction. That's the saddest part. It took 1 minute for me to come out of that answer. Everybody, the entire room said yes.
Mm.
And that's where the world is come to, unfortunately.
Ma'am,
So please, for me, I personally feel human interaction is most important.
my question arises from that. Is it the person is lonely? That's why this is happening.
It happens two ways.
Mm-hmm.
One, yes, people are feeling lonely because a lot of people are working in different cities for jobs and you
Mm-hmm.
tend to start living alone, unfortunately. Second is people are losing the concept of making friends.
Okay.
So making friends become a biggest challenge. I have come across a lot of people who actually don't have friends. I'll tell you this client story now. You asked me for a client story. It's an interesting client story. So
Mm-hmm.
this person and his father had some health issues and some normal issue, but nothing serious. So he had come from small town to Bangalore to get a treatment done. So my client was talking about it. He said, just now the treatment got over. My parents are there. We started the session. Now I said it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
We had previous conversation in the previous session. It was completely different. I said
Okay.
it's okay. We don't have to continue the conversation. Now talk whatever you feel like talking, whatever you. So he started telling me about how what happened to his father and all those medical issues and all. And then he said I was feeling very proud because I was able to handle everything myself from finding a doctor, taking them to the hospital, taking care of them. Everything I was doing myself. So I feel very good about myself. I said fantastic. That is very nice to know. But I have one curious question to ask you. If you want to cry to somebody, if you have something to go to the hospital, who's going to come to you?
Mm-hmm.
You are there for your parents. He's not married. He's a single guy. So I'm like, if something happens to you, who's that person who's going to come for you? Didn't have an answer. So yes, all of us are very capable of doing everything.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
who's that person you cry to? Who's that person you call when you're feeling very, very low? Who's that person who will come to you if you have an emergency? You can stay alone. You're very strong, very powerful. I agree.
Yeah.
But all of us are humans.
Mhm.
All have our downs. Anybody has a down. Whichever name of celebrity you can take in the world, they have a down. But so this is exactly why humans, for humans, are very important. So please start making friends. The ways of making friends also I'll tell you.
Mhm.
Try to find somebody in your own interests. Like you like badminton or football or some cricket or whatever. Try to find a group in cricket. Now there are apps for everything. Or you like to go for movies, try to find a friend who likes to go for movies. It can be your own colleague itself.
Yeah.
Or you can have a coffee friend who like to go for coffee or a drink or whatever it is. You might have a friend who likes to go eat food, but it is work. It is work to make friends. It is work to maintain relationships.
Yeah.
It is efforts to have humans around in life. You have to put in efforts. You can't sit at home and tell I don't have friends. You will not have friends.
Yeah.
So putting efforts, move your body from the sofa or couch and go somewhere.
So, ma'am,
Physical activity.
that's very good point to make a friends because right now we are dealing with loneliness. People have didn't too much time for anyone. So if we didn't put our efforts to make friends, it will be boost our self and mental health also. Ma'am, as an founder,
Correct.
which thing you actually face the biggest problem right now in your journey? The biggest problem you face as an founder?
I wouldn't say exactly my problem, but I have noticed this is consistency.
Mhm.
Entrepreneur, founders, all of them have self doubt. Starts off whenever you have a slow month, or maybe you don't know how much money you're making next month.
Mhm.
You start having a lot of self doubt, and then you lose consistency.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing for a new founder, new entrepreneurs, however, not only new entrepreneurs, whichever age you're in, do not give up. Have consistency.
Mhm.
Keep working and keep upskilling yourself. That is something a lot of entrepreneurs miss out on. And I also feel I think maybe women, which I've noticed, is
Mhm.
lack in technical skills. Like using laptop, Google Sheets, how to use different technology to use apps. So much is there now. So you can actually make your life easy when you use. I know I have come across women who
Mhm.
don't even use Google calendars.
That's-
So I tell people, please
Mhm.
start using calendars. You're a business woman. You need to schedule your day. So have a basic
Mhm.
calendar for the day. How do you remember how many meetings have you given?
Time for a person which is feeling that problem and which have a depression or anything is right time to contact a coach. So, ma'am, please explain it.
Sure. Very good question.
Mhm.
So, as I mentioned before, the difference between a counselor, therapist versus a coach.
Mhm.
So, as you have gone through trauma, you have depression, you had some big issue going on,
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
maybe you just had a lot of people unfortunately have depression without even knowing why they have.
Mhm.
They just feel very lonely and sad, and they're not sure what is that which is troubling them. They're
Mhm.
stuck. Okay, they might not be happy with their job, or they're not happy in the city they are in. Maybe anything it can be. They're not sure. So that means you're stuck in your life.
Mhm.
Okay. So now here two questions. Am I ready for growth? Am I ready to change? Change as in my mindset, my thoughts, my personality for my own growth, not for anybody else, for my own growth. So that is when the question comes. So I'll give you an example with very simple like Google Maps. Okay. Now, if you have to go to any destination, where do you stay, Jatin?
I'm basically right now in Ghaziabad. Ghaziabad.
Ghaziabad. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say if you're putting a map from Ghaziabad
Mhm.
to Dwarka. Okay. Now it's a long distance, right? Now the Google map will show at least 2 to 3 different directions to go, right?
Mm.
And you will have, out of 3 or 4 directions, you might have knowledge of 2 directions.
Yeah.
One, you will not have absolute any knowledge. One,
Mhm.
you don't even know that exists, right? Now you are stuck in, you're at Ghaziabad. I have to reach Dwarka. The
Mhm.
option to you is visible. Either you will take a known route, or you will take something which you are aware of, that okay, there will be less traffic, the road is better, something like that. You might not take a risk of taking an unknown route,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Now, which is the best route for your destination, you will not actually be sure of, right? How do I take risk of the unknown place? What if I am stuck inside a forest on the way? What? So that is the fear which stops anybody
Mhm.
to accept change. Now,
Mhm.
if I change, what will happen to my life? What will my close ones look at me? So that is when you come to the concept of talking to a coach,
Mhm.
telling that this is what happened and I want to go forward. It can be a work challenge, it can be a relationship challenge, it can be a personal challenge, it can be financial challenge, anything.
Yeah.
Any important aspects in your life, you are stuck, but you don't know how to go forward. It is when you approach a coach. Very
Yeah.
simple.
Yeah.
Anybody who feels stuck is the best time to go to a coach.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, one more thing. Right now we are seeking a communication as an professional life, in our personal life, in a relationship. How the communication affects that?
Very much. A
Mhm.
lot. In fact, relationship communication is the biggest challenge right now.
Mhm.
Because one of the things, again, in relationships also,
Mhm.
we have the most difficult conversations on messages.
Yeah.
People are breaking up on WhatsApp. People send anger on WhatsApp, right?
Yeah.
But you don't send, when you're angry, you send big, big messages,
Yeah.
right? When
Mhm.
is the last time anybody sent a big message expressing how much you love them? Why
It's.
not?
I
Why
think.
not?
I think it's very much effective thing. People are listening. I think that people have to think about it. That.
You have to acknowledge
Mhm.
both good and
Mhm.
bad, right? So
Mhm.
that's how we are made up. Our minds are in such a way that we find
Mhm.
easier to see the flaws.
Mhm.
Everything, as you see, for example, even like last week I was in my hometown in for a wedding.
Mhm.
First thing people always talk is you're tall, you're short, you're fat, you're thin, you have pimples, you don't have hair. I'm like, can we come out of it?
Mhm.
Can we start talking about what the person actually is? Why you want to talk about physical appearance? The moment you stop worrying about your physical appearance, start seeing people more than the physical appearance,
Mhm.
that itself is going to calm a lot in your relationship. And relationship, the biggest thing, other than people generally say trust, honesty, and all those things, agreed, 100% yes. But communication is something which also has to be available. Has to be both sides, not one way. All these things like don't check my phone, why you want to see my WhatsApp, why you want to see your Instagram, what are you hiding, why are you hiding? It's not about the opposite person. Ask yourself, why am I not able to show my phone to my partner? What is it I am doing? Not about your partner, it's about you, right? So a relationship also, first thing I tell people, reduce the level of expectations. We are all humans. So one more thing, what happens in the mind is, even now, let's say in the podcast, you
Mhm.
have written all the questions, we have prepared, we discussed and all, right? But
Mhm.
I'm sure you would have imagined a certain way of answer,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
But when I'm giving a
Yeah.
different kind of an answer, you're shocked,
Yes. Actually, I'm
correct?
I'm right now shocked because the thing is, it's like very learning process. This podcast
Exactly.
is actually a learning process for me. Yeah.
Exactly. So
Mhm.
what happens? This is what happens every time. So
Yeah.
when we are talking to our loved ones,
Yeah.
you ask a question or you ask whatever you want to ask, then you
Mhm.
are already thinking the answer
Yeah.
on their behalf.
Mhm.
And but if your opposite person gives a contrast answer,
Mhm.
your mind confused.
Mhm.
No, supposed to answer like this. Why is he giving different answer? So
Okay.
why do you want to think for the other person? Keep telling even simple example with your friend. Let's say go
Mhm.
do this test with anyone. Okay,
Mhm.
especially people who don't make calls.
Mhm.
Ask anyone to dude. Can you just call him up and check on him? Ask anything, right? I think there was a reel also on this. Call your friend
Mhm.
and ask for 500 rupees or something like that, right?
Mhm.
First thing, people start giving reasons. I don't think he'll be free. He might be in work. He might be in meeting. She
Mhm.
might be cooking. She'll be taking care of her baby. Hurry, let them answer. No. Why are you answering on their behalf? You please use your brain for yourself. Let everybody use their own brains. It's enough. Let's not use for other people. Very, very important in relationships. So
Yeah.
keep this communication also.
Mhm.
So you can be very clear and nice. And one more very beautiful thing. I don't know if you've heard of this person. His name is Simon Sinek. He's a very
Mhm.
famous international person. He's also a very big psychologist and therapist and all that. He has a lot of books. So he told very beautifully in one of his podcasts. He said, "You don't have to tell the truth at that moment." Which means when we are fighting, arguing, and whatever difficult situations are happening, it's okay to not tell the truth on the face. Tell them later. No, this happened. You reacted this way. I agree. It's not easy. Very
Mhm.
difficult to control yourself.
Mhm.
But when they are calmer, explain that time, telling that this is what happened. This is what. Even for example, let's say somebody is driving a car.
Yeah.
Right? New person learned the car driving, and they're going to drive the car. You are somebody who's a pro driver. You're
Mhm.
sitting next to them. They're excited to show their driving skills to you.
Yeah.
Even a kid, I'll give same example with a child also. As
Mhm.
soon as they come out of a very big competition, they've already won also. And this is a real example of a client again. So
Mhm.
the child is gone, I think 10th standard, 11th standard child. He's gone, he's won math quiz and competition all the time. Okay? And as soon as he comes, he doesn't, they don't tell anything. They start telling you should do this, you should do that, you should do this in the next time. This is how you should do. So what happens there? Child is like, even if I won the competition, you're
Mhm.
not happy. You're only finding flaws. At least acknowledge the fact that I have won the competition. If a person is driving the car, acknowledging the fact that they have drove the car. It is a very big thing for them. Instead of telling, oh, you should have put this clutch at this gear here, you should go this way. No, that's not what they're asking at that moment. They want you to praise them the fact that they can take the car out and drive it. So this is where we again miss communication,
Mhm.
where instead of acknowledging what happened, we are trying to find flaws.
Mhm. So, ma'am, I think that that's the biggest thing we are facing right now. One more thing, like in my audience, a lot of parents right now watching. So, how the parents have to be communicate with their children? Like, I think that it's the biggest gap between the children and the parents. So,
Very true.
how in our daily lives parents have to be adapt the things to talk with the children, like teenagers from 15 to 20 years and below 10 to 15. So there are two age groups. I want to address that thing.
See,
Mm-hmm.
any age group of children, everything starts from younger age, the better.
Mm-hmm.
But it's okay even after they have crossed, they've come to the teens, and teens has become the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
Like they don't tell you, you don't tell. I tell two things for the parents. One is have patience. You need to develop your own patience. There's nothing you can do with the child. Second thing is You have to communicate to the child before you expect them to communicate back. For example, as soon as the child comes from school, this is from any age group you can start. You are going to start asking 100 questions. How was school? What did you do? What is the homework? What happened? What did ma'am tell? What happened to yesterday's this? 10, 20 questions you ask. Child is just come from school. They are tired, they are hungry, whatever it is. They don't want to answer your questions. Imagine reversing this conversation. When you meet your child after school, either you go pick up or at home, wherever you are. Even when you're at home, at work,
Mhm.
please make a call with your child as soon as they come back from school. There are three times in the day, this is psychologically proven. There are time frame in the day, durations, where it impacts a child the maximum. One, the way they wake up, how you wake them up, how you communicate with them when you wake them up or they wake up. Second, after school, how you talk to them after school. And third is before sleep. This is a proven study. If you spend your time with your child in these three times of the day, 10 to 50 minutes max, 10 to 15, that's it. Child is the happiest in the world. Now, after school, the conversation has to reverse. You have to tell how your day went. Then the child will tell. If the child is going out, you also went out. You tell no what happened, whatever you can communicate with the child, communicate. And I personally feel, being a single mom, my child is the person I communicate all the time with.
Mhm.
So when I tell him, he automatically tells me what happens with his friends. I tell what happens with my friends. I tell about my work. He tells about his school. It is a mutual understanding. So it became a practice for us, and now there is no such conversations like you tell me, I tell you. That's it. But also, we give space for each other. That's the biggest thing for the parent to understand. You need to trust your child. How many times I'll ask you itself, Jatin, you
Mhm.
wish your parent trusted you at some point? Some situations are there we wish, why don't you trust me? I can do this, I can handle this, right?
Absolutely.
Even at any age group,
Mhm. Yeah.
we always have that thing we wish that our parent is trusting us in this. And
Yeah.
every parent has to tell the child, I trust you, I
Mhm.
am proud of you, I love you. Not that every day, 24 hours a day, you have to tell. Once in a while, please use these words.
Mhm.
It goes a very long way for a child. You don't have tantrums. You'll not have crankiness. The moment you tell the child will also tell you. It's okay. See, when you, let's say, as mothers, we do a lot of things are going on. You're taking care of the house, your work, a lot of things. Even for fathers, same thing. You're have so much of stress at work. You're handling finances, a lot of things. So you might sometimes, yell at your child for no reason, scream at your child for no reason. Okay, happens. But go back to your child and tell sorry. And explain to your child, I'm sorry I yelled at you. It's not your fault. I was angry about something else and it came out on you. And trust me, the response the child is going to give you will just make your day. They're just going to say, it's okay, mama, it's okay, papa, it's okay, it's fine. But since you went back to them, they will be very happy that you are not angry at them. This is where we make a mistake. We take children for granted. इसलिए क्या समझ में आता है इसको? It's okay.
हाँ, ये
Would
मैं
you believe, if you will, so I'm sorry, I'll just finish one last point. Would you believe parents, mothers very specifically,
Mhm.
continue talking to your child after the child is born? Lot of parents, it's a standard thing that we talk when the child is we are pregnant. You tell
Mhm.
the mother, talk to your child. You have to talk when the child is in the stomach and uterus. But have you noticed mothers talking to the child after they come out? They don't. Like what the child will not understand. He's not talking. He's sleeping. What he'll understand is only 2 months, 3 months. What she's going to know. No, they know everything. Continue your conversation every day with your child throughout their lives and give them space. This is very simple,
Mhm.
but it's difficult for parents to practice.
Yeah, ma'am. Uh,
Yeah,
that thing actually biggest issues and I think that ये ठीक होना चाहिए अपना ये
ex-
पार्ट अगर हमने
ex-
नहीं ठीक किया एज एन हमारी डेली लाइफ में इट विल बी अफेक्ट अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स
correct.
एंड या मैम सो आई थिंक दैट दिस पॉडकास्ट goes very well and I want that कि आप तक लोग कैसे पहुंचे how people reach to you because the thing is it Talktune is very good platform. I go through with it and how people from North India will reach to you. So I will completely give you the your times that you will advertise the Talktune and tell about the people how they will reach to you.
Okay. So
Mhm.
see, anybody, anywhere, not just in North India, anywhere around the world,
Mhm.
very simple, I will tell you, if you want to improvise your communication in your personal life, professional life, in yourself as well. So
Mhm.
there are three types of communication.
Mhm.
Interpersonal, that is between two people,
Mhm.
or two and more people. Intrapersonal is somebody where you're talking to yourself.
Mhm.
There is something called as social communication where we talk to the world, like group and public and society and all, right? Now, all three is very important. What you tell to yourself in your mind is also very important. What you tell to your close ones is important, and how you talk and portray yourself to the public is very important. And all three will go hand in hand, right? Now, if you are a person who wants to, at any age group, you want to build your confidence, communication is your base. If you want to get better at your relationship, I will guarantee you communication is a base. If you want to grow in your workspace, you have to get better at how you communicate with your colleagues and your boss. Everything is going to go towards the growth factor. So anybody who's looking for growth in any aspect of your life, you can reach out to me either through Instagram. As Jatin already knows, I do respond as early as possible. You can also reach out to me on my WhatsApp number. I will share it to you once you reach out to me on Instagram. Or there is a very basic website I have. You can reach out to me on my website as well. That is talktune.co. If you want, you can give the credentials during this one. And
Mhm.
as process is, it's a very simple process. After you reach out, we will schedule a call, which is around 30 to 45 minutes of a free chemistry session. That will understand whatever is your challenges and what you want to focus, not what I want. What you want, it's completely customer centric. So what the client wants is what I focus on, and that's what a coach actually does. We do everything related to a client, and approximately the sessions will be 45 to 60 minutes session per session, and suggested is 3 months, but then it's your call how you want to take it. And that is very simple. As if you want to grow in life, please reach out to me. If you want to see changes in your life, reach out to me.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. And
Thank
I will thank from my audience side also. You
you.
come to the show because I also feel that I will give too much more in new my podcast and वो feel भी होगा लोगों को and it's very fine for me कि आपके साथ मैंने conversation की और हमने इस topic को explore किया. Thank you, ma'am,
Thank,
for coming to the
thank you
show.
so much. Jatin. Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity again, and all the best. I can see your podcast is new as well. All the very best, and hope you'll get a lot more of big celebrities coming in.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Okay,
you so
ma'am.
much. Have
So, guys, the episode is complete. I want to ask you last question. How's the episode? It is. One more thing. All the guest links I am writing down in description. And one more thing. Please like, share, and subscribe the video. If you want to more informational content, you have to share the video and comment on this video. In next video, I will completely say that a person is coming which will be blow your mind. So stay tuned. Have a nice day.